Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. I'm back with another video in which I choose my top 5 favorite cards of a particular player. At the end of the previous video, I spun the wheel of names and it landed on Willie McCovey, a member of the 500 Home Run Club. Now, while Willie McCovey had an outstanding career, that hasn't necessarily translated to big hobby popularity. However, he does have some great looking cards. Now, to help me narrow down the selections that I had to choose from for my top 5 favorite, I went with the PSA Basic Set Registry Checklist. It contains 21 of his base Topps cards from his 1960 rookie card all the way to his last playing days card, his 1980 Topps card. Now, here's where I would love all of you to participate as well. In the description of this video, I'll have a link to the PSA Basic Set Registry Checklist. And from those 21 cards, would love to know in the comments which are your top 5 favorite Willie McCovey cards. And if you could number them 1 through 5, 5 through 1, it'll help me compile the results for next week's video. And if there are some cards outside of those 21 that you like of Willie McCovey, put them in the comments as well, and I'll have them as honorable mentions in next week's video. Now, before I get to my top 5 favorite Willie McCovey cards, the previous video was on Jim Palmer, and there were several of you who put in the comments letting me know which were your top 5 favorite Jim Palmer cards. So I'm going to go over the results of your comments first. Then I'm going to get into my top 5 favorite Willie McCovey cards. I'll turn the camera around, show off the cards I have of him in my collection, and we'll wrap things up again by spinning the wheel of names to see which player will be the focus for the next video. So let's get to it. For Jim Palmer, you had 19 cards to choose from, ranging from his 1966 rookie card all the way to his last Topps card, his 1984 Topps card. So there were 9 of you who replied in the comments letting me know which were your top 5 favorite cards of him. And here were the top 5 cards that were selected. Starting off with his 1966 rookie card had 6 selections. His 1976 and 77 Topps cards had 5 selections each. And then his 1973 and 1974 Topps cards each had 4 selections. There were 3 cards of his that did not receive any selections by those who made comments in the video. His 1970, his 1980, and his 1982 Topps cards. Now, there were 5 honorable mentions that you listed besides his base Topps cards, starting off with the 1967 Topps World Series Game Number 2 highlight, Palmer blanks Dodgers. Then his 1971 Topps American League Playoffs Game Number 3, Palmer mows him down. Then we have his 1982 Topps In Action card, his 1989 Swell, and the 1994 Nabisco All-Star Autographs. All right, from the top 5 cards that you selected in the comments, how did they rank and how did they compare to my top 5 favorite Jim Palmer cards? At number 5, you had his 1977 Topps card, which I had as my 3rd favorite. In the 4th spot was his 1973 Topps card, which I also had as my 4th favorite. Then in 3rd was his 1966 Topps rookie card, which I had as my 5th favorite. In 2nd place, you had his 1974 Topps card, which I had as my favorite Jim Palmer card. And finally, you ranked his 1976 Topps card as your favorite, which I had as my 2nd favorite. All right, let's get into my top 5 favorite Willie McCovey cards. Again, in the comments, you have 21 cards to choose from 1960 to his 1980 Topps card. All right, at number 5, I decided to go with his 1970 Topps card. Now, in all these videos that I've been doing of my top 5 favorite, I don't think I've chosen many 1970 Topps cards within my top 5 favorite, but there's just something about this card. I think the gray border of the card just goes very well in terms of the overall color and look of the card with his uniform there. I don't know if it's the the gray part of his uniform. I don't know. There's just something about, and I really like the pose, how he's resting his arm on the bat there. It's not an in-action shot, but I think it's just a great looking Willie McCovey card. So at number 5 for me is his 1970 Topps card. At number 4, I went with his 1965 Topps card. It's just a close-up posed image. Again, there's not a whole lot of action shots of Willie McCovey, but again, just love the 65 Topps design. While the banner and the purple border aren't necessarily color matches for the Giants, I think overall the color scheme looks really good together, and you have that light blue sky background in there. Just I think makes for a great looking card. At number 3, I went with his 1960 Topps rookie card. You have the rookie cup there on the right. Now the one that traction I sort of have of this card is it would have been nice if it was an actual photograph. It looks more of a colorized or a drawn image from a picture, but nonetheless I love the horizontal design, the bold colors of the green and yellow working off each other, and the red text just makes for just a really nice rookie card, a unique in some respects rookie card. I know Jim Cott from the set has a similar rookie card, but it's not a multiplayer rookie card, and I don't know, I just think it has a unique look, so I made it my 3rd favorite. At number 2, I went with his 1961 Topps card. Now I did note here, as I was looking through his different cards, Topps used the same exact image for their 1963 Topps card. But between the 1961 and 1963, the color schemes for the 63 just, to me, didn't look as nice as the basic set design that the 1961 set has. You have the yellow and green down at the bottom borders there, and just another image. I don't know what it is with Willie McCovey kneeling with his arm on his bat. It seemed to be a favorite pose of, at least for him. I don't know if the photographers always told him to do it or whether that was just his go-to pose, but just staring off sort of in the distance, not looking straight at the camera. You have the stadium in the background. I just think it's a great looking card. And at number 1, somewhat of a sentimental choice, but again, I think the overall color scheme and design just goes really well together. For my favorite Willie McCovey card, I went with his 1978 Topps card. Again, you have the Giants in sort of like that goldish orangey, dark orange color, matches with the uniform. The border there almost looks like a blue rather than a black, so not quite matching there. But just love the stadium in the background. Simple pose for him, but I don't know. I just think everything just looks great with that card. All the different colors and just the basic image there, the design of the 78 Topps set, which of course I absolutely love. I had to go with his 78 Topps card as my favorite Willie McCovey card. All right, now turning the camera around now to show off the Willie McCovey cards in my collection. Okay, I have a decent number of Willie McCovey cards in my collection. From the 21 cards in his Topps run, I do have 9, so not quite halfway there. I would love to eventually complete the playing days run for him. But let's start off with the rookie card, and you have seen this recently because this was a pickup from the National, so I won't go too much in depth. You've probably seen this 2, 3, 4 times if you've been watching all my videos. But yes, I do have the rookie card now, and there is the back. So I have that. I do have his 1961. Picked this up some time ago. Again, just love the color design, the overall look of it. And then in this particular copy, I think it's a really sharp copy. Love the centering. Sometimes in these 61s, you get some little fish eyes or print marks. Those are nice, solid color bottom borders there. Here is the back. Whoop, upside down. Here is the back. Love the cartoons there down at the bottom. Now, I have some other cards of his outside his base cards. So this one is the 1969 RBI leaders from the National League for 1968. And it actually has 3 Hall of Famers. So you have Willie McCovey, Ron Santo, and Billy Williams. And you can see on the back here, Willie McCovey led the National League with 105 RBIs in 1968. You can check out some of the other leaders for 1968 there as well. You have his teammate Willie Mays with 79 RBIs in 1968. So there's that one. Then jumping to 1971. Here's that one. Really like the centering on that. There is a little bit of, you know, the corners there have a little bit of chipping of the black, but overall, I think I picked up a really nice copy there. And here is the back. Then jumping all the way to 1975. This is maybe an example of why I don't completely love the 75 top set. I do like it in general. Sometimes the color matching with the 2 different colors of the borders and the top with the San Diego uniform, I don't know. Maybe some of you really do like the color combination here. I just don't necessarily think it goes. I don't know how Topps chose which color scheme to go with for a particular player or team. But yep, there's that copy there. Here is the back. Then I do have his 76. This one has a much better color scheme with the different colored banner areas or borders down at the bottom there. Simple, basic portrait shot of him. There's the back. Then here's his 77. Maybe one of my least favorite Willie McCovey cards. I just noticed that. I don't know if he has that in some of the other cards, but I noticed he has like 2 dots there under the C for Willie McCovey. I don't know if he does that in all his signatures. I'm not sure if I had. There one here. Yeah, his 71. 71 has a facsimile. No, well, yeah, he puts 2 dots under the C. I just noticed that with his autograph there. Interesting. And here's the back of the 77. Then I have two cards from 1978. He had a record breaker for 1977, most times 2 home runs in an inning lifetime. Little obscure fact, I guess, but it was something that he broke the record in 1977. So Topps did a special card for the 1978 Topps set. So back here it says McCovey belt 2 in inning, second time in his career. So I guess it wasn't a big record to break, but marked the second time in his career he had accomplished the feat, with one wallop being a grand slammer. And of course, his nickname was Stretch. I'm not sure if that record has been broken. I wouldn't be surprised if it has. If you happen to know, would love to know in the comments who broke Willie McCovey's record for most times hitting 2 home runs in the same inning lifetime. Not 2 home runs in a game, obviously, but most times hitting 2 home runs in the same inning. He did that twice in his career. And of course, here's his base Topps card, my favorite Willie McCovey card. I had a bit of a hard time finding a really good copy for my 78 here, with the dark colors on the card for Willie McCovey, and I know Dave Winfield was another one, but the Willie McCovey, for whatever reason, a lot of his cards have like some black roller ink marks there. Sometimes you can notice it in that area there from his hat. Some of it, I think, from his wristband and things like that. And of course, down at the bottom, sometimes you get some ink smudging from his name. So I did finally find a really clean copy for this one. Here's the back. And just a couple more here. His 1979. And finally, his last Topps Playing Days card is 1980. Batting cage picture with like a little sort of windbreaker on for warm-ups and batting practice before the game. Here is the back. And those are my Willie McCovey cards. So now let's turn the camera around again to the Wheel of Names. There are only 2 names remaining for the original 40 players that I had for this set of videos. So it's a 50-50 chance to see which of the last 2 players will get chosen. Then, of course, the remaining one will automatically be the player that I do for the last video in this series. And I am working on names to come up with season 2, if you want to call it, to continue this series. I appreciate all the support, all the comments, saying that you like these types of videos. And so yeah, I'm going to select some more players, maybe another 40. We'll see what the ultimate list is. But yeah, I'm going to do a round 2, season 2, whatever you want to call it, of some additional players, and to continue the series of taking a look at their cards. Some of them I have, some of them I don't have, but just picking my favorites and seeing which ones are your favorites. So let's get to the Wheel of Names. The 2 remaining players on the list are Duke Snider and Ernie Banks. So let's see which player will be the focus of the next video, and then of course the player that is remaining is going to be the final video in this series. So let's see what the Wheel of Names selects. And it's going to be Ernie Banks. All right, next video on Ernie Banks. Now, Ernie Banks has, I already know, some great cards. This one's going to be a struggle, I think, to narrow it down to my top 5 favorite. And then, of course, the final video in the series is going to be on Duke Snider. So, final reminder in the comments, let me know which are your top 5 favorite Willie McCovey cards. And with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.